Osborne starting in the pole. Great qualifying time by that guy right there. Starting outside of him is Anthony Kernick in the number 20 car. Starting in third is Brian Day. Starting in fourth is Kyle McCormick. Starting P5 on the night is Matthew Wright, and starting outside of him is Chris Collins. Starting 7th is John Schweikart. Starting 8th outside of him is Scoot Johnson. Starting P9 is Brendan Kohler, and rounding out your top 10 guys is the one and only Alex Scribner.
Well, I have to say thank you, Michael. See, it's been a little while since I've been up here in the booth, about 6 months to be exact, so still working a little bit of that rust off as we get ready to go racing here, working our way through turn number 3, and obviously just about anybody who's ever watched racing, whether it be watching the Indy cars or whatnot turn around here, know what Indianapolis Motor Speedway is. It's not one of those tracks that nobody's ever heard of. This is one of the most well-known racing facilities in the world, and it's rather unique with the way it is laid out. Built back in 1909. This is one old track, gentlemen, and these guys fixing to turn some fast laps as we go green. Green flag is out. Austin Osborne off to an early lead.
Here comes Osborne with a good start. Dave, sorry to cut you off right there. And as you can see, they're all going to jockey for position as they go down the corner number 1, trying to get all they can on these new tires, Dave.
Yeah, doing a great job. And the 20 there behind him just got loose in second place. Going through turn 1, got down a little bit too far and got that car sideways. Did a great job saving it, and everybody behind him did a great job avoiding that, which really could have been a real big issue right early on with that whole pack piled in there behind him.
They're looking 3 wide in the backstretch already. You get a big tow down the backstretch with these cars with the spoilers in the back. A lot of draft produced by these cars, so you get almost a slingshot. Draft as the 13 gets a little bit of a bump right there from the 7 possibly, or maybe you just got a little bit of aero loose on the top there. But so far we're working through corner number 4. We're going to get 1 lap under green here. So as these guys are really battling hard, as the Goodwrench car down the back is going to put a block on that Pepsi car back there. As everyone's trying to get their positions, like I said, while the tires are good. But Austin Osborne is going to lead your first lap. And guys, he's already 3/4 of a second ahead of second place Kyle McCormick.
Right now, though, we've got a battle for the 7th position. That's between Anthony Kernick and Chris Collins. Chris Collins in that 24 machine just made a pass on the number 20 machine of Anthony Kernick. Kernick now trying to reel in the back bumper as we get ready to go into turn number 3. Still working lap number 2. Cars starting to get a little bit spread out here as they get settled in.
Definitely so. Here comes the 13, the bottom of that 21 car right there. The 13 is going to be Jeff Ramsdell under the 21 of Brendan Kohler. A couple different names that we don't usually see in the top split, different cars, so I'm trying to get my bearings in the cars tonight, so you have to give me a few minutes here as I try to cycle through these names. Now it looks like the 21 is going to go under the 10 right there, possibly the 10 trying to get around the 21 on the top. But guys, there's one groove around this track, and it's on the bottom. If you get outside of that groove, look for yourself to get up into the marbles and possibly into that outside wall.
Absolutely. I definitely have to agree with you there. This is a very line-sensitive track, David, as Justin Kirby, the 16 machine, makes a pass on Matthew Spangler. Matthew Spangler slowly starting to drop back. He's now dropped back into the 10th position. He started 11th this race, right behind Alex Scribner. So now completing lap number 3, working into lap number 4, David. It's been a pretty good race so far. Guys starting to get a little bit spread out, though.
It looks like Alex Scribner, Alex started in the 10th position. Scribner's already up into the 6th position right now on the back of Schweikart in that 18 car, who's currently holding the 5th position. So in a matter of 4 laps, Scribner's picked off 4 cars, so a lap per car right now as the 24 is going to get that draft. He's going to take it under the 4 right here. Let's see, the 4 is going to let him go. Smart drive by the 4 right there to let him go, as like I said, you do not want to be in that second groove at this track.
Not at all. These guys, I got to tell you though, this is one of those tracks, it's kind of like a super speedway in some sense, because you're almost flat out, but it's just that little bit of checking up and maybe dragging the brake just a slight bit, enough to slow you down and pitch the car into the corner. Because, I mean, you look at this track, it's not a very high banked track. This track is 12 degrees at the most in the corner. So you don't have a whole lot of banking to lean on in these cars, which can definitely cause pretty severe tire wear on the right side. But what I've been told for our pit window tonight is anywhere from about 30 to 33 laps, and they do expect to be able to make that on tires, David.
Yeah, it looks like the battle for the lead is starting to close up a little bit. Kyle McCormick did shave off 2/10 off the first position right now of Austin Osborne. Back in third is Brian Day. Behind him is Matthew Wright, who's now in the fourth position. Schweikart still holding down that fifth position. But right now, I got my eye on the sixth position of Chris Collins in the 24 car. I got to race with him this week, Austin, and he had a very, very good car. Was able to really keep the tires in that car and maintain a steady pace over the long run. So, you know, we're only 6 laps into this, but let's see after a couple more laps that 24 can keep up this pace right now. See if he can keep moving up to the front as he is doing right now.
Chris Collins doing a very good job so far, moving his way up through the field. He started originally in the sixth position, and right now he is currently scored in the sixth position. So it looks like he lost a little bit on the start, but has worked his way back up to where he started, and is starting to reeling in the back bumper of that 18 machine, who has a rather extravagant last name. So please forgive me if I get it wrong. Schweikart, maybe? That's about as close as I can come to that one. Again, I apologize. I'm not the best with the name thing here in this second split battle. And I must say, David, I'm quite surprised at how well this race has gone so far at Indianapolis. And maybe it's just me. You know, I am better at the whole announcing gig than I am the racing gig. And I don't run a whole lot of Indy. But I don't. You have to fill me in, David. Is this, what kind of track is this? Is this the driver's track, or is it, you know, pretty easy to drive?
Yeah, right now I'm going to take it over for Dave as he's having connection issues tonight. His IP is not working with him right now, but. As far as if this is a driver's track or not, it definitely is a driver's track, but you have to have the setup under you. You really need this car to rotate through the center of the corner so you can get up off the corner and get down these long straightaways with a lot of momentum. As we see now, I'm really keeping my eye on this battle for the lead. Looks like McCormick is really reeled in. Osborne right now, he's going to get a draft down the backstretch to see if he's going to try to make a move. He's going to look low in the 6 just to make the 6 look that he's in his mirror and he wants by. Get that 6 a little bit worried as the 23 gets a big arc down into corner number 3. He's going to carry that momentum through 4 now, and he's going to try to get a run on that 6 again down the front stretch.
I do want to give a little bit of an update to those of you out there who were interested in the top split. John Adams did start on the pole, and we will get an update on that race here pretty quick in a little while. But I do want to let y'all know John Adams did start on the pole for that top split race here at Indianapolis, and we'll try to bring as many updates from that race as we can throughout. As the 18 gets a little bit loose, that's going to give the 24 Chris Collins just enough to get to the back bumper. We'll be looking for Chris Collins, that 24 machine, to make a pass here as we go into turn number 3, Michael.
Here comes Collins down the backstretch, staying right tight on the back bumper of the 18. Here he comes. 18's going to let him go. Schweikart gives him the wave by. 24 up to position number 5. So that's a net gain of 1 position now for the 24. So, you know, like you said, he must have fell back on the start because I have seen him pass at least 2 cars right now. So 24 is coming forward. Seems like that car gets better and better as it goes. These guys drop off. As far as your battle for the lead, it's about where it was the last time we looked at it. Still about 0.2 of a second now from first to second. Battle for third and fourth is heating up slightly as the 9 car of Wright is closing in on Day ever so slightly as the top 4 are starting to distance themselves a little bit from the rest of the field, Austin.
Kyle McCormick running a 1/10 of a second faster that lap. He's going to make the move down to the inside. Here comes the 23 machine underneath Austin Osborne. He's going to make the pass into turn number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new leader, Kyle McCormick.
Yeah, I've seen McCormick running him down a little bit every lap. Got into the wall the last lap, so it slowed down his progress just a bit. but he got that great run off turn 2, like I said you need to do. Turn 2 is a very problematic corner. If you don't have your car set up right, you're either going to want to push up towards that wall or spin the thing out. Looks like the 23's got it going really well through turn 2 right now, and that's how he was able to get around the 6. But as they're battling side by side, that just closed up the 2 behind him right now. Day is within 6/10 of the lead right now, and Matthew Wright is now 1.1 back from the lead. So these guys are really starting to close up on each other. Now it seems like Osborne is getting a little bit of a run on McCormick right here. I don't think he's close enough to get the draft that needs to get him down at the turn 3, but the 6 is not falling too far back from the 23 right now.
I do want to give you a quick update on your top 10. Currently, Kyle McCormick scored in the first position. Austin Osborne scored second. Brian Day currently in third. Matthew Wright closely following him. Chris Collins working his way up through the pack. The 18 of John Schwartzkart, I believe. Alex Scribner scored in 7th. Anthony Kernick scored 8th. 9th is Scoot Johnson. 10th is Justin Kirby. And let's go ahead and turn it over to Dakota Ehrman, who I believe has an update for us on the top split race. Dakota?
I'll tell you what, caution coming out just about lap 8, I believe it was, looking down here, I believe it was Greg McKinney getting involved in an incident with Justin Thompson. Not sure, but I do believe that's what happened. Pit stops coming underway. Double D Richard Doucette coming down pit road with the rest of the field, but John Adams starting on the pole, staying up front till those pit stops. I believe it was Jason Karlovich and Chad Lawton opting to take 2 tires and or stay out. So those guys getting track position out of this over these 8 or 9 lap tires.
Well, there you have it. There is your update on Top Split. So Top Split already seeing those nasty yellow colors early on in the race, as we now have just completed lap number 13. Austin Osborne slowly trying to reel in the back bumper of Kyle McCormick. Kyle McCormick still your leader. Now it looks like the 6 of Austin Osborne starting to work his way to the bumper. He sees that bumper getting closer. Well, or maybe it's just the heat getting to him here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as we go down into turn number 3. So this is once again it's been a rather clean race so far, and I gotta say I'm enjoying it. And at this point, I think this race is gonna finish up before Top Split does.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are really spread out right now. They've let their cars come to them. They didn't do anything too crazy in the starts, and it's definitely paying off right now as we're working. We're going to get lap 14 right here as McCormick takes goes across the row of bricks right there, but I'm getting word from the Cowboy that Alex Scribner has a very, very good spotter right now in Nick Ottinger, who's currently sitting 4th in DWC points, as Scribner is going to take the spot from Schweikart right there, so move Scribner up to 6th, Schweikart back to 7th. So Scribner's getting a lot of great advice right now, as Ottinger got a top 5 here a couple weeks ago in DWC. So that 4 car's got an advantage, I feel, over the rest of the field. Definitely when it comes to strategy, maybe racing line. But here we go. Pass for second. Day around Osborne. So it looks like Osborne couldn't keep in touch with the 23 right there, Austin. Looks like he might have burned the tires up. The 19's going to see if he can get to the 23's back bumper, just as the 6 did a couple laps ago.
For those of you out watching that want to get a unique view and a unique feature that we have here at ETV Live, feel free to turn on that scanner that you see there on your page. It is not set to auto start tonight, so that will not turn on by itself. You do have to turn it on, but tonight we are scanning through the channels, and, well, we're scanning where you have Nick Ottinger, current DWC driver, who is spotting for Alex Scribner in that number 4 machine. Currently, Alex is scored in the 6th position, out there kind of on his own little island at this point. Still early on in the race, but you want to hear what the driver spotter communications are. Feel free to turn that feature on. It is rather unique, and as a spotter myself, you get to hear all the good stuff.
Awesome, we're going to have a battle for the lead here. It's going to brew up real quickly as the 23 got way out of the groove right there, way in the gray, didn't want to be up there, and he lost quite a bit of time. McCormick's last lap was a 52.9 to Brian Day's lap of a 52.5, which is very strong. From what I've seen this week, if Brian would have run that lap time, that 52.5 on lap 16, in that top split race, he would probably be in the top 5 or top 7. So great times on that with that number 19 car right now. Looks like he's brought his A game. Austin Osborne also running competitive times as well as Matthew Wright. Chris Collins back there a couple tenths off at a 52.8. Scribner at a 52.7. So, you know, like I said, it seems like the top 4 really are in their own zip code, if I can speak, and they're still pulling away. But it looks like Day really wants to challenge at 23 and get the lead before we get to our first round of pit stops in about 16 or 17 laps, Austin.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, currently Kyle McCormick is still leading this race. Brian Day has made a drive up to second place. These guys are going to continue to battle it out. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on lap 17 of this second split Indianapolis race. But hey, don't go away. We'll be right back here on ATV Live.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Back out here to the racing action. Kyle McCormick still your leader. Brian Day still trying to chase him down in the second position. Lap times, I have to say, have stayed pretty consistent. These guys haven't really fallen off a whole lot, Michael. I don't know if that's typical for this track. Again, this is one of those tracks, I don't know how the tire wear works here. According to what I've heard, tires don't wear a whole lot here. It's just the fuel you got to worry about. You know, what as a driver in the DWC series, you come to a track like this, what are you looking for in a setup first off? And are you looking for something long run, short run? What's your best bet here?
Well, I know when we visited Indy a couple weeks ago in DWC, I was looking for something that wouldn't burn off the right rear tire. Now with these Nationwide cars, 23 hits the wall out of the lead right there. Here comes the 19 with these Nationwide cars. They predominantly drive off the right front. So here comes the 19. There he goes. So we got a new leader right there. 23 hit the wall down the backstretch. Must have been, I don't know what he was doing, but he hit the wall. Here comes Osborne trying to take the second position back. McCormick's way out of the groove again. He's going to try to get a run off the corner. Not going to work. 6 is going to try to slide up. Not quite clear, though. So these guys are going to drag race, but Austin, you're going to get a lot of green flag runs at this track, most likely, and it looks like these guys definitely have their long run cars under them right now, as it seems like they're falling off the 52.6s, which are very competitive times, very strong times. So 23 is going to fall back just a little bit more as they get a little bit loose right there for third and fourth. The 23 in the span of one lap goes from the lead back to fourth position, so that's not good for him. I don't think he's too pleased after hitting the wall in the backstretch right now. I'm not sure why that happened, but I know he definitely did not mean to do that.
Did somebody tell Matthew Wright that we are still at Indy? We're not at Talladega or Daytona yet. Giving a little bit of pump draft to the number 6 machine of Austin Osborne down the front stretch there previously, but all that side-by-side racing has let Brian Day get out to a pretty decent-sized lead now. And back to what you mentioned with the tire wear, yeah, these cars do seem to drive a lot more off the right front, which is something I did notice when I was running here, running some practice laps here a little bit earlier today. And I gotta say, it's a lot different from driving anything else here. These cars have always been a lot more stable than anything else, honestly, in the iRacing simulation, it seems. So definitely a good choice as far as track and car combination here with Indy and the B cars. It's held up, and it's been a pretty good race, at least, well, here in the second split. First split, top split, you know, can't exactly say the same, but I do have an update there. Jason Karlovich is your leader in top split due to pit strategy. Just wanted to give you a quick update with that one. And I believe David Bass may have made it back up here into the booth with us. David?
Yeah, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Having a little bit of electrical connection issues here this evening. It's kind of been a recurring theme here the last couple of weeks for me, but I'm back, and looks like I've missed a pretty good race so far.
You definitely have, Dave, and I just want to give a quick update. The 18-car John Schweikart has fallen out of the server with some sort of connection problem. So Schweikart, who was running, I believe, in the 6th position or somewhere around that position, will fall back to the 25th position when scoring cycles back around. So tough break for him as he had a very good car. But Dave, nice to see you back in the booth. Definitely great racing so far. These top 4 have been all over each other throughout the first 25 laps. This is the biggest lead that I believe we've seen probably since the start of the race when Osborne sprinted away from McCormick there for a few laps. But definitely great green flag racing right now. Everyone's spread out. Definitely a lot different than what we saw at Iowa last week. A lot of beating and banging and quite a few cautions too, as I believe we had about 10, 11 cautions last week. I lost count after 5. So we're definitely doing great this week with these second split guys. They're getting their time in the spotlight the first time in over a season, so these guys definitely want to put on a great show, and they're doing just that right now, as we've went 26 laps now under green, not one caution yet in this race.
26 laps currently in the books. Brian Day now out to a lead, and a pretty good lead at that. Austin Osborne starting to lock those lap times back down, but here comes Matthew Wright to the back bumper of Austin Osborne, and then looks like Matthew might have one of those setups that's just better off in the long run, but he makes hard contact with the outside wall coming off of turn number 4. Hopefully that didn't mess up the toe in that machine, because I gotta say, and I'm not too great of a driver, but I have to say this is one track you probably don't want to mess up the toe, Michael.
No, you certainly do not, but that's okay. I've hit the wall this week too, and like I said, the right front definitely burns off pretty bad here, and it looks like the 9 got a little bit of an arrow tight. So Matt Wright's going to look to rebound from that, as it looks like this 6 is going to pull over down the backstretch, and here comes Matthew Wright to the second position behind Brian Day right now. So it looks like that contact with the wall has not slowed that 9 car down as of yet.
No, it hasn't. And I tell you, when you guys were seeing that machine there that got into the wall, I'd say the guy behind him, the 23, actually followed him into the wall right there as well, coming off of turn 4. So both of those guys did get into the wall a little bit, and everybody still going strong though.
Brian Day is still your leader here, 28 laps into the books. They send it down to Dalton, England in just a few seconds. I believe he does have an update for pit road. Dalton, what can you tell us right now, buddy?
It looks like in about 5 to 10 laps, if we stay green, there will be a few guys ducking down in the pit lane. But other than that, if a caution comes out, there will probably be everybody coming down then.
10-4 on that one. Again, we are looking at about a 30 to 33 lap. We're going to be looking at a pit zone about that big. As I got a little lost in my words there. I apologize. But yes, that's what we're looking at right now. Is about 30 to 33 before we start seeing some pit stops. These guys probably, I don't expect to see many of them taking tires, maybe 2 at the most. Matthew Spangler going to work his way down into pit road. He was running in the 10th position, so maybe a little bit of pit strategy here. Early pit stalls. Anthony Kernick also coming down, so I imagine we'll start seeing the leaders here pretty quick as we're now working lap 29 of 60.
Hang on to it. Brian Day getting a little bit of the wall right there as he came off of corner number 2. Here comes the 9 down the backstretch, a lot of toe. Here comes the 6 of Osborne as well as the 9 gives another kiss to the wall, letting it know that he's there on this track tonight, running very quick lap times. The 9 is really cutting to that lead. He was 4.5 tenths behind when we hit the line for lap 29. We're going to come around for lap 30 right here, and it looks like the 9 is within a couple car lengths now of the 19 of Brian Day, so these guys are really staying tight together right now. The top 4 are still within 1.2 seconds of each other. Make that 1.1 seconds of each other. The top 4 have separated themselves from 5th place Alex Scribner, who's now 3.3 seconds behind. I'm going to run you through 6th for 10th. 6th place is Chris Collins, who did start in 6th, so he stayed stationed right there in the 6th place. Justin Kirby 7th. Scoot Johnson 8th. Matthew Largan in 9th, and Todd Hendrick rounding out your top 10. Kernick is down pit road. He's losing time right now. But I believe what Kernick is doing, guys, is he's splitting this race in half. This is a 60-lap race here tonight. He's going to make his one and only pit stop on lap 30. That'll split that race directly in half. He will not be back down to pit road to send it down to Dalton, England. He's got updates on the 3 cars that are down on pit road right now.
Yes, it looks like all of them are getting 4 tires and a full tank of fuel. So, yeah, looks like from here they will be able to make it.
So there you have it. Those drivers on pit road are Anthony Kernick. Also going to have the 13 of Jeff Ramsdell. And then Howard Bell also down on pit road, trying to get those guys cycle through their pit stops. Again, going to make it one of these pit strategies. They're just going to cut it directly in half. They're not going to pull the 33. They're not going to try to make it as far as they can. They're just going to say, I'm just going to take what I need. That's exactly what they've done, and honestly, that may be one of those strategies where you think about later on how the car is going to handle with less fuel in it. Is that something that you take into account, Michael, when you're in a DWC event? Do you think about the weight of the car with the gas in it? Do you think about the way it's going to handle? Is the car going to be lighter? Does that make it faster? What exactly goes through your mind when you start thinking pit strategy?
Well, I'd have to think with the Cup car, a lighter, less fuel in the back will make it tighter, which is great since the car does drive off the right rear. But with these cars, I would want a full tank of fuel for myself anyway, because I like a looser car. It'll make these things drive a little bit off the right rear more than the right front, which they want to. What I saw right there was a little bit of strategy from Kyle McCormick. He only took 2 tires right there, so that should loosen him up. I'm not sure about the time difference between 2 tires and 4 tires as far as lap times and how that's going to work out, but it looks like he pulled a couple seconds off of Austin Osborne, who came down pit road in front of him. So we're going to have to see if that cycles around to where Osborne can get back around McCormick, or if McCormick can keep that track position. Brian Day is down pit road. He's away. The 24 of Collins is also coming in pit. Scoot Johnson down and away. So all these guys are making their pit stops around that 30 to 33 mark, Austin, as Scribner and Justin Kirby are also pitting from the first and second positions that they got when those guys in front of them pitted.
So Kyle McCormick, as he works his way down the middle of the backstretch and into turn 3, you mentioned the pit strategy there with taking 2 tires. We'll have to see how that's going to work out for him, as things should get back in order. And I would imagine Kyle McCormick's probably going to become your new leader with that 2-tire stop. You mentioned it'll loosen him up. That's something we see quite a bit with these machines, is you take those 2 tires and for whatever reason, maybe I don't quite understand the way the tires work, but it does make you quite a bit looser, and that can definitely be used to your advantage. Currently, Kyle McCormick, though, being scored in the 8th position, as we still have some cars that need to make it down pit road.
Hearing that, Justin Kirby, I believe he was in 7th place before the round of pit stop started. He got a speeding penalty coming down pit road. That's a 15-second penalty added
Gonna give a little shout out to Malik Ray. Malik Ray thinks Matthew Wright's gonna win this race, but I'm being told the caution is out. These drivers are gonna slow these machines up as we try to find out what happens.
I'm
not entirely sure what happened there, but this may work. To Kyle McCormick's advantage, as some of these guys I don't think had got the opportunity to make it down pit road. This is gonna mess a few people up, as I'm being told the 14 machine may have self-spun on the front stretch, possibly trying to get down into pit lane. And I have to say, it's not really a tricky pit lane, but I guess I see where things could go wrong.
It looks like he locked up the rear tires. It looks like he was trying to get down to first gear possibly to woe himself up. He had plenty of time though. Just locked up those rear tires, bounced off the inside wall into the racing surface, triggering the caution. So this is going to bunch everyone back up again. And now Kyle McCormick is going to be on the short end of the stick, as everyone behind him's got 4 tires, and he's the only one with 2 tires right now.
So these guys gonna get things settled. I'm being told cars that have not pitted yet are the number 8 machine of Michael Evans, the number 5 machine of Mike Kirby, the 11 of Howard Bell, the 22 machine of Matt Holden, the 15 of Chris Pence, and the 14 machine of Robert Deal have not made it down pit road yet. So we will be looking for those guys to come down into pit lane here if they're not already clutching the machine, trying to make it back to pit road, because this is definitely a stretch for some of these guys. 35 laps was pushing how far you could make it on fuel.
Yeah, no question. 35 laps is definitely pushing it, and these guys did a great job getting there. Now the question is, like you said, do they have enough to get around to pit road entry, which I think that they will. These guys are doing a good job, and they know what they need to do, doing what they need. So overall, it's probably going to work out well for them. They don't have the pressure of coming in under green flag conditions and knowing that you got to make every second count here, but so maybe that's going to work out for them. I'm going to be curious to see, though, what Kyle McCormick does here because of the 2-tire stops, and I do believe I see him coming down pit road.
Kyle McCormick is going to come down pit road. I don't know if this is maybe a little bit of pit strategy for Kyle. I am being told maybe this was his first entry. We had a little bit of a mistake there on our scoring monitors a little earlier. We thought he had already come down pit road. It appears he has not. So Kyle McCormick going to work his way down into pit lane. Probably going to get some fresh ones while we're under yellow flag conditions. Fill that tank of fuel up as he slides down into his pit stall. Has to back up, overshoots his stall, might lose a position or two from that one, as we're going to get these guys back off pit road. Looks like the number 20 machine of Anthony Kernick also coming back down pit road. I do know, in fact, that he did come down a little earlier. Looks like he's just going to top it off with fuel, no tires for him. And the 22 of Matt Holden going to lead him off of pit road. Currently, your race leader is still scored as Austin Osborne now. Matthew Wright scored in second. Brian Day scored third. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back here on ETV Live.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, welcome back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I tell you what, it has been clean and green here in the second split race. Let's take it down to Dakota or to Dalton, England. He's got an update on one of the drivers. Dalton, what do you got, bud?
Looking down pit lane was the number 5 of Mike Kobe. Asking the crew chief, he said they were a little tight in the center of the corner, so they came in and got a wedge adjustment, 4 tires, and a full tank of gas, and I'll send it back up there to the booth to Mike and Austin.
Thank you, Dalton. And looks like the 24 car I'm hearing from Paul Madsen in the iRacing chat. Thank you, Paul, for being another set of eyes here tonight. Chris Collins in the 24 got an EOL. He was speeding down pit lane. He did take 4 tires, though, but him being all the way back in 19th position, that's really going to put a hamper on his progress tonight here at Indy.
Just going to put a little bit of a damper on his performance, or rather his track position there, as we're working lap 37 now under caution conditions. I believe this was the first caution we've had so far in this race. Austin Osborne is scored as your leader. You may see a nice lime green car in front of him. No worries, that's just David Lom. He is probably fixing to get that lucky dog and hopefully get himself back onto the lead lap, as it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He will be scored back on the lead lap once he does get that wave around and we get ready to go back to green flag conditions. I believe we will be getting the lights off on the pace car this time around, and it looks like we will.
The A's guys are going to have 1 lap the green right here. They will be restarting this race on lap 39 to 60. So 22 laps to go when they get the green. Not a lot of time here. We're running about 52, 53 second laps around here. Almost a minute a lap. So they have approximately 20 minutes if we go green from here to get themselves up to the front of this field, mount their charge, and try to get the win here on ETV tonight. These guys know that this is their first chance in a long time to get the win, and front and center on ETV, and I'm sure a lot of these guys are eager to get up there and get this win in front of all the spectators here in the iRacing service and on ETV-eplay.net watching this race here tonight.
Dalton, we got a little situation done on pit road?
Yes, we do. A few of the people down here on pit lane are talking about Austin Osborne maybe getting the win tonight. We'll send back up there to the booth.
So definitely some fans watching this second split race. I have to mention, this is not top split tonight. This is the second split race. If you don't like it, well, tough luck. Austin Osborne still scored your leader. Going to give you a quick top 5 rundown before we get back to going green. Ah, heck, let's do a top 10. Austin Osborne scored in the first position. Matthew Wright scored second. Brian Day scored the third position. Alex Scribner scored in the fourth position. Brendan Kohler scored fifth. Jake Petrella scored in the sixth position. Seventh is Justin Kirby, who got himself a penalty earlier. Michael Abrams has made it up to 8th. Matt Holden up to 9th. And Anthony Kernick, who just made his pit stop, back up to the 10th position. Pace car's lights are off as we get ready to come back down to the green flag. Flag man gets that green flag out, takes a shot of adrenaline, and here we go. Green flag is out. Austin Osborne, once again, off to the lead.
I'm going to be looking for the 23 car, Kyle McCormick, who's very strong earlier, took 2 tires on that green flag pit stop, came down pit road, had to take 4 when everyone else took 2. That's relegated him back to 13th position in the thick of things, back in the eye of the storm here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Right now he's in the outside line going backward. Right now is the 17's looking inside of him. So that's not where the 23 wants to be, as we are almost 3 wide down the backstretch. These guys are trying to get all the good they can while these tires are still fresh after the restart.
25 machine Michael Abrams battling on the outside of the number 8 of Michael Eamons. Michael Eamons now going to work down into turn number 3. He's going to make that pass. The 5 makes the pass. That's Mike Kirby, the number 5 machine. Abrams slowly starting to fall back. Jeff Abrams is stuck on the outside line, and that number 13 as Kyle McCormick now has to work his way back through all this traffic. And I have to ask, do you think he has enough time, gentlemen?
I don't believe so. That 23 car right there is now in the 12th position as he kind of misses turn 1. That's not what he wants to do. We've seen those top 3 cars be the fastest all night, as we got one down the short chute between corner number 1 and 2. He's stuck in the wall. That's not going to be caution, though. Like I said, between corner number 1 and 2 for John down there to get that up. Not good for him right there, as he's going to be out of the race. It looks like we have a battle for second right now. The 19 car going by the 9 as the 19 touches the wall going down the short chute. We have another battle for 7th back here. Looks like Kirby underneath the 21 car with the 8 in tow. So these guys are still going for positions. Now they're going to look 3 wide down the backstretch. Here they come. Here comes McCormick. He's trying to get a draft off those guys in the bottom. McCormick might try to slingshot right here, as McCormick is trying to pick up positions, but it doesn't look like he's really making his move quick enough to get up to the front.
Oh, buddy, it's getting tight. They make contact. The 21 makes contact with the 8. Michael Eamons gets loose, manages to hold on to it. Wonderful, wonderful hands by the number 8 machine. I don't know if they still give the All-State Good Hands Award, but I would give it to Michael Eamons. That was one heck of a save. Mike Kirby now to the inside of the number 21 machine, as they are trying to do what they can. Close racing here, guys.
Definitely. Eamons is going to, he's going to get away from the 5 and the 21 now, as Kirby's going to clear the 21 car off of turn 4 right there. Still slicing and dicing back there. 25 of Abrams. Here comes the 20 going 3 wide on Abrams right there. They're going to go 3 wide into this corner. Someone's got to give. 20's going to give just a little bit, but they are still battling. Here's the 23 McCormick on the outside, trying to make a move around Abrams down there in the bottom. He's going to make that work as they go through turn number 2. So that's 2 more. That's 2 more positions for McCormick right there. So that should put him up to the 10th position, but still a long way to go for that 23 car.
Let's check up on your leader. Austin Osborne still currently is your leader. Second place is Brian Day, but we're going to take a quick break from this race and check over with Dakota Ehrman. Dakota, what's the condition of that top split race?
Well, we are under green flag pit stops. John Adams, who's been dominating the race, he got shuffled back in traffic, able to drive his way to the front, dominating in the CTV Live machine, back to about 21st, actually showing 8th as he crossed the line with several guys coming down pit road, seeming unbeatable as he's driving away from the field. David Cater getting the lead for the first time tonight, staying out right now. Some of those earlier guys to pit, including Double D, Richard Doucette, coming in a little bit earlier than the rest of the field, and those are teammates all coming in about the same time. A little bit earlier, so some strategy playing out, but still not working for him because John Adams still ahead of all of them.
So there you have it. Adams had charged his way up through the field. An interesting situation over there with that top split race. They have had a few cautions, but it seems like it's been pretty exciting over there. It's been pretty exciting here as Brian Day still trying to reel in the back bumper of the number 6 machine of Austin Osborne. Austin Osborne constantly checking that mirror, trying to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes. He just needs to hit his marks right now, but Matthew Wright, don't count him out. Matthew Wright currently scored 3rd, as he seems to possibly have the machine to beat. He's been very fast. No, he hasn't been in the lead, but if I had to pick a race winner right now, I think I'd probably go with Matthew Wright. He's got one heck of a machine, gentlemen.
Yeah, it seems like Matt Wright is really quick on the long run. The 19 a Days, he's going to make his move going down the turn 3 right here. Day's going to try to take the lead. Osborne's going to try to side draft him. Not going to work. Osborne back to 2nd. Seems like Day is the best in the middle of the run. Osborne's better on the get-go than the 9 of Wright really gets going once they get 15-20 laps in their tires. So we had about a 20-lap run to the finish right here. If it stays green, that 9 car might just have enough time to get the lead away from Day. As I said, it seems like he is the best as they get quite a few laps on their tires here.
So now Austin Osborne to the back bumper. Brian Day, because Brian Day is, well, that lap he was 3/10 faster, so he did make the pass on Austin Osborne. Austin Osborne now just going to kind of sit back there and see what's going on. Maybe just wants to take a little break from leading. I don't know. Maybe he wanted some scenery, but the caution is out. Yellow's waving once again.
It looks like the 2-car round off at turn 2 right there. I'm going to see what happened there. It looks like he just got way out of the groove, possibly got loose. Oh, he got really loose down the short chute right there. Walked him all the way up the track down to turn 2, rode the wall all the way turn 2. Going to just spin it around, hit the wall with his right rear, and that'll send it around like a top. Single car incident right there. No one else involved, but heavy damage on the front and back of that number 2 car, guys.
Somebody go get the bear bond, because that car is going to need it. All tore up. This is definitely an aerodynamic track. The draft does come into a bigger effect here than you would imagine. You got long, long straightaways here. And something that they've done here recently with this last rather large update with the tire model and whatnot was they made some changes not only with the draft model, but they did some differential changes as far as the slip differential in the rear end. Made some changes there. There was evidently a glitch that was causing some handling issues. But there's also been some tire updates. Like I know last week, for instance, I don't know if y'all talked about it, but the tires last week at Iowa, that is actually a short track tire that they've gone to. That is no longer what iRacing would consider the intermediate tire, like what you would see at like in Atlanta or at Texas. So a little grippier there. This tire you're seeing here, I believe, is the intermediate tire also. That's where you get the good grip through the corners. Actually being informed it's the short track tire. So short track tires at a 2.5 mile, rather interesting rectangle shaped oval here.
Yeah, iRacing tried to get closer to the real life times of these guys in the Nationwide Series, so they did put the grippier short track tire on these cars, as it looks like a lot of guys are trying to come down pit road right here. Your leader isn't, though. Scribner's going to stay out, but it seems like everyone behind Scribner is going to come in pit and take 4 tires.
And it sounds like we've got Anthony Kernick up here in the booth with us. Anthony, how you doing, bud?
I'm good.
Well, Anthony, it's been a rather interesting race so far. Currently, they've got you scored in the 4th position. You're in that number 20 Goodwrench Hot Rod. I like the colors on that thing. I've actually got one that closely resembles it. How's that machine been handling for you?
Yeah, I had an interesting first lap. I just got my wheels on the curb, and then it pitched me around, so I had to save that, and then I've just been in traffic all day, and it's too hard to pass quickly, so yeah, I burnt my tyres out on that green run, and yeah, I've just been back in the pack.
No, I have to ask. I've been questioning these guys. What's the tire wear been like here at Indianapolis? Is it even something that you really worry about, or is it taking a rather big effect?
I guess it just depends on how you drive, because I burnt my right sides out on that green run, but other people have been in the 90s after long runs, so it heavily depends on how you drive.
Well, were you surprised to see that ETV Live was here broadcasting the second split tonight? I know there was a lot of well, surprised faces when we announced that we would be broadcasting the second split race. You've gotten yourself some TV time, and currently you're scored in 4th. Do you think you can make it up there to the 1st position? Do you think you can take the big win here?
I guess it depends on how this restart goes, because the first 3 laps after the green is pretty much when you do all your passing, and then after that it's just hold position to the end.
Well, we're going to let you get back down there into the cockpit and get yourself focused. About 14 laps to go. That's Anthony Kernick. Anthony currently scored in the 4th position. He's going to be going for the win, and well, we're going to root him on, and hopefully he can get up there and get it done. Anthony, we'll check back in with you a little bit later, hopefully.
See ya.
Well, Brian Day currently is still your leader. Matthew Wright scored in the second position, but we're going to take a quick commercial break here on ETV Live, and then we'll come back, and we'll stay with it until the end. Don't go away.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Yes, guys, Austin Osborne came down pit lane there. They were having problems with the radio. They came down pit lane to fix that and also got 4 tires. They said these last 10 laps are going to be starting P17, and with those 4 tires, they feel like they can get to the front. It's the reason they lost all those positions there. So we'll see if Austin Osborne can get up there and take home the trophy. Send it up there to the booth.
Well, there you have it. Austin Osborne going to be starting about midway towards the back, we'll say, of this pack. He's going to have to work his way up through the traffic. He's actually going to be right back there with McCormick. McCormick, again, having a little bit of issues earlier, and, well, pit strategy didn't work in his favor, so he's going to have to work his way back through this pack in order to get to the front. However, Brian Day, well, he's in the optimal place right now. But again, Matthew Wright's still my pick for this race. I think they're going to battle it out here at the end. I think Matthew Wright's going to come out on top. Who you picking, Michael? I got to know.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to go against the Ford car of Scribner. I mean, I know we haven't seen him a lot, but you know, that's one of the Gale Force Racing cars. His team, Gale Force, they had a merger a couple weeks ago, so that definitely have a strong setup under that car. So I'm going to have to go with that Ford car. You know, he's got that spotter up there, Mr. Ottinger, and I know he knows how to get it done on restarts. And I mean, I've seen him do some pretty spectacular things in the DWC on these restarts. So I'm sure he'll be coaching him through this. So look for that Ford to get up here. But, you know, the 19 and the 9 have proven to be the 2 strongest cars all day that are still up there up front. Pace car is going to turn in. Here we go. Brian Day is going to take him down real fast right there. He's going to get the jump of the 9. 4 is sleeping just a little bit, but I think that 4 is going to have his nose up to the door of the 9. He's almost going to clear him going down to the corner. Here comes the 24 under the 20 of Koenig. Koenig definitely didn't want that to happen right there. Here they come, still battling side by side. Koenig stuck on the top right there. That's not what he needed to do on this restart.
It sounded like Matthew Wright may have been short shifting there on the start. Maybe he wanted to get behind Scribner. I don't know. Maybe it's a strategy.
22 down around the back. He's going to save it, though. We're 4 wide down the backstretch.
They're making contact. A 13 machine all over the place. Jeff Ramsdell was
still
all
3
over
wide.
The back bumper of somebody. All I know is I was seeing contact all over the place. These guys are 2 by 2 back in the 14th, 15th, 16th position. Oh, as we have more contact. We have a car in the outside wall.
They save it, though. Here they come, still 3 wide. Now they're 4 wide. They're trying to find a way to get through here. 4 wide down the backstretch. Here they come. Here comes Osborne and 4 tires. He's trying to get up through here right now. Not a lot of time to do it. They're all going to battle side by side down to turn 1. McCormick can tow with Osborne. 2 fast cars back there. Not a lot of time to get there, so we have 10 laps to go. Looks like they're going to settle that back right there. These guys, looks like they've gotten through that. Now they're back down to 2 wide. We're going to send it back up to 2nd position. Scribner and Matthew Wright with the battle right here. Collins in tow as well, as Ryan Day is starting to gap himself from 2nd place Scribner now.
Chris Collins in that 24 Chevrolet trying to work his way up. I'm hearing hard contact with the wall behind him. It looks like the 20 of Anthony Kernick slowly trying to reel those guys in and try to make it up there to do something with Brian Day, but Brian Day loves what he sees in the mirror right now because these guys are battling out, just letting him pull away. Matthew Wright, though, he desperately wants by the 4 machine because he knows that he can catch Matthew Wright as he makes hard contact with the outside wall.
As we've got a caution out, the 13 is into the wall right there. Jeff Ramsdale down in turn number 2. He's nosed up against the wall. Heavy damage to the back end of that car. Looks like he might have been sent around going into turn number 2 right there.
Looks like the 13 got loose, got contact from Austin Osborne in the 6. David Lamb collected also. Several cars involved. And we've got some radio traffic, boys. We've got some very unhappy drivers.
It looks like the 13, like you said, got loose up under the 12 car. 12 car being David Lamb, as you said, and they just went right up the track right there, and that'll be the end of the 13's night.
The leader's going to catch the pace car, Brian Day. That is the last thing he wanted to see is the yellow fly. That yellow flying is not good for him.
A lot of cars involved in that right there, Austin. A big pile up going through turn number 2. That's what happens. Get a little bit of aero loose in that bottom when someone's tucked up against your door right there. You get real loose, and you'll go around like that and collect a couple cars if they're right next to you.
These guys are going to get things back settled in behind the pace car and try to figure things out with their spotters and their crew chiefs. We're going to send it over to Dakota, who is giving us updates on the top split race. Dakota, what's going on, bud?
Well, guess what, guys? We're pacing again. Nothing unusual for the top split race tonight, guys. John Adams dominating as Crawford is not here tonight. Who was it? Chad Lawton taking the Wreck of the Year trophy home tonight. He destroyed his car, left immediately. I think they put that. I think they put him on a chopper, and he's going to a medical center, guys. So I mean, that was a hard hit. The pit road getting busy as well. All kinds of speeding penalties. You know, nothing new here, guys.
Well, there you have it from Dakota Ehrman. Dakota's been giving us updates on that top split race. Want to reintroduce ourselves. My name is Austin Atkinson. Alongside me tonight is Michael Conti, DWC driver, and I've also got David the Big Mouth Bass, JD Webb down there, well, basically doing all the behind-the-scenes work, directing. And then you got John Westling, Mr. Magic Fingers, down there pushing all the buttons for us. Got to give a big shout-out to those guys behind the scenes. They're the ones that make everything happen here at ETV Live. For those of you that, well, aren't going to be able to finish out this race, or maybe you want to have the replay, be sure to go back and check out our archives here on etv-eplay.net, where you can view those anytime, 24/7, for as long as you want. You can replay them back. You can listen to our voices as much as you want, because, well, we know you love us.
Ooh, I think they're getting sick of me by now. I've been doing this for quite a few weeks now. I'm surprised I haven't gotten more hate mail than I already have. But I'm just going to keep talking because Austin's got to run here just for a few seconds. So if you hate me now, you're going to hate me more just in a few minutes, but that's okay. No hard feelings. All right, now, enough with that. We're going to send it down to the cowboy, JD Webb.
All right, I'll tell you what, guys, here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a little bit of update coming from Dakota over there at Top Split Action here tonight, and I want to tell you about some more racing coming your way. You want to check the schedule at etv-eplay.net. Check it out tomorrow. Some road racing stuff happening at about 3 o'clock Eastern time. You want to catch that action. And then, of course, tomorrow night, the big one we'll be doing for at Watkins Glen for Enough World. That'll be a 100% race tomorrow night, Cowboys. So I tell you what, fill your cooler, get them bags of pretzels ready, and get ready for a night of racing. That's all going to be Saturday night. All starts at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern right here on etv-eplay.net. Your only choice for sim broadcasting. Let's take it back up to the booth to Michael Conti, Austin Atkinson, David Bass.
All right, guys, and we're back here, and it's definitely going to be an interesting thing, and JD got some good stuff coming up, no question about it. It's going to be fun to watch as these guys are still under pace conditions right now. Lights are still on that pace car, so we still got at least another lap or two. These guys are going to only have a couple of laps left in this race, no question about it, as they go there, Austin.
These guys still turning laps. We're now at lap 55 of 60. Going to try to dial up Brian Day on the radio. Brian, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Brian, you're leading this race. You've been up front pretty much all race. First off, what's it going to take to hold these guys off?
Well, I think first of all, it's going to take a good restart. I've got a couple of my teammates behind me. I'm trying to get a good start here, try to get them advanced up as much as possible. That's it. Good restart, good turn 1 and 2, and after that, after the tires get heated up, I think it'll be good.
The car seems to be handling pretty well out front. Is there a big, I guess, disadvantage to being in traffic with that machine, or have you got it pretty well worked out that you can drive that machine just about anywhere and it feels pretty good for you?
Well, we made a lot of adjustments before the start of the race, some pretty significant changes. And I thought when Austin got out to about a 2-second lead there to start, I thought he's probably going to drive off and leave everybody. But as the run went on, about 10 laps, the car felt really good in traffic. I was able to keep that left front in some air, lower than Austin and Matthew, and was able to make my way towards the front. So car feels really good in traffic, feels even better out front.
Definitely a good thing to hear. Another question for you is, well, next week we go to the super speedways. Are you looking forward to that, or you pretty much said, no, I don't want any part in it?
Well, I believe it's Talladega. That's my home track, so love going to Dega. Haven't got a great grasp on this 2-car stuff yet. I'm decent at it, but not as good as some. But I'm looking forward to it, and can't wait to get there.
Well, I tell you what, Brian, that is the one thing I am good at. I'm good with the super speedway, so feel free to get a hold of me. And I've got some buddies of mine, and we can definitely show you how the 2-car stuff works before next week. And, well, maybe we'll see you again on TV. But before I let you get back down there and get back to racing, is there anybody you want to throw shout-outs to? Any sponsors, friends, family?
I'd like to shout out to my company I work for, Science and Engineering Services in Huntsville. It's a government contractor. We do work for DOD, NASA, and do commercial work also. Give a shout-out to my teammates, Matthew Wright and Anthony Koenig and Brandon Kohler in this race, and hope they have a good finish.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is Brian Day, currently your leader. Lights are out on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. David, final thoughts before we get back going here?
The last thing I have to say is chaos. I think that's what we're probably going to see here in about the next 4 laps, as these guys get about that many laps is all they're going to have left to do this. And, we've seen some good racing. We've seen some wrecks. I really don't know what to expect these last couple of laps, because these guys are going to be pushing everything they've got to get to the front or make up as many positions as they can. And when that happens, things tend to get bent a little bit there, Austin.
Most certainly. Michael Conti now rejoining us back up here in the booth. Michael, we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Brian Day is the leader, and I'm getting word, obviously, a moment ago, that Matthew Wright is a teammate of Brian Day. Final thoughts before we get back going here?
Well,
he's a teammate, so I don't expect to see anything crazy going between the 19 and the 9, but they will definitely race each other hard for this win. They want to get this win in front of all the people that are watching tonight, like I said, the broadcast and in the spectator session slots. So we're going to have 4 to go at the line right here, guys. So, if another caution does come out, it's over. So these guys are really going to have to make their moves quick. Pace car goes off. Here comes the 19. He's going to bring him down. Here he comes. 9's right in his back bumper. They're stacking up a little bit in the back. Kernick gets a good restart. Scribner, on the other hand, the 4 restarted second. He's going to be back to 4th before the first corner. Oh, is there wrecking already in the front stretch? That's going to be it. Oh, that's going to be it right there. Big junk on the front stretch. Osborne looks to be involved. A bunch of cars up in turn number 1. Brian Day is going to be your winner with a 1-2-3 sweep for his team. Matthew Wright second. Anthony Kernick third. Alex Scribner fourth. Rounding out your top 5, Chris Collins.
I gotta go like it is. I've always been known to do so. Michael Abrams basically just took a pretty well straight right turn right up into the door of the 6 machine of Austin Osborne. Austin Osborne quite upset on the radio. Michael Abrams can't really do much to answer for himself, and quite frankly, if I were Michael Abrams, I would probably just go hide in the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was trying to do right there. Maybe he was trying to get some side draft. Maybe he didn't know the 6 was there, but a very silly move from the 25 Michael Abrams. Not what he wanted to happen. And Osborne, who had made his way up from the 17th position up inside the top 10, did still have a shot at that win with that caution coming out and punching everyone up. But after that, it is over. And like I said, Brian Day is going to be your winner tonight.
Got to give you the list of drivers involved in that one. Jake Petrella involved. Obviously, Austin Osborne involved. The 25 of Michael Abrams involved. The 21 of Brendan Kohler involved. The 15 of Chris Pence involved. Also going to have the 2 of Nick Zotner involved. The 23 machine of Kyle McCormick in there. And also the 8, who already had some damage, of Michael Emmons involved. So several cars involved in that one going into turn number 1, all due to the, I can't even say error, honestly, the stupidity of Michael Abrams. I don't really understand that one. It's a completely straight front stretch. It's not like there's any curve there. It's pretty well straight, and I guess he couldn't drive straight. So that's going to cause an end to this one. We're not going to finish under green flag, unfortunately. Definitely some unhappy drivers, gentlemen, but, I would be too.
Yeah, just, these guys had a long green flag run to start off this race, and it really did have a very green look to it. We got our first caution. We thought, that'll be okay. We'll just keep going green after that. But ever since, these guys seem to have lost their minds just a little bit, and started racing just a little bit over their heads and making, as I said, some foolish moves. I know Abrams, like I said, didn't want to do that. He didn't want that to happen, but just a foolish error on his part. But everyone makes mistakes. I've done dumb things. Austin's done dumb things. Dave's done dumb things. We've all made mistakes, and we try to learn from them. If I may speak for everyone, and I know Abrams will probably listen to his spotter a little bit more next time. Maybe try to keep some more room between himself and other cars, and try not to do that again.
I want to give you an update on the other race. John Adam has pulled out to a pretty good size lead in the top split race. John Adams very well pretty much dominating that race from what I'm gathered through Dakota and just through watching the ticker on that other race. Joshua Lawton, I believe, was scored in the second position. That may not fall true now, as it looks like there's some paddock racing going on in that race. So these guys are going to finish up here. I do want to check in with Dakota, though. Dakota, what's the situation on that other race?
Well, you called it, John Adams, over a second and a half out. Behind that, though, Jason Karlovich going underneath Joshua Lawton, making the pass. Karlovich moved up to second position, but nowhere near John Adams. As Lawton kind of sitting right where he was, not gaining any time, not losing any time. I believe the finishing order as it stands right now will have John Adams scored as the leader, Jason Karlovich, Joshua Lawton, Brandon Bowie, Alex Warren, David Cater, Richard Doucette, Oleski Aloma, Rob Ackley, and Chris Seymour to round out your top 10. But we do have just about 2 more laps to go, so this racing could get more intense as Joshua Lawton actually closing up to the back here of Jason Karlovich. Watching the battle for second right now is Lawton. Looks like he got the wall, maybe just a little bit there. He got close as he was close in on Karlovich as he's going backwards now. Looks a little sideways. Lawton into trouble right now. Brandon Bowie not going forward, not going back. Everybody else looking to be single file quite a ways through the field here as we're just going to finish this race out. The first cars I see side by side, it's actually a battle for 16th position. Greg Hooks and John Bunton battling out in the rear of the field. But back up to the front as we're going to go back up here. I believe Joshua Lawton trying to run back down Jason Karlovich as John Adams comes to take the white flag this time by as he just crossed the line. White flag is out. No more cautions. This race will end under green flag conditions as John Adams has a 1.8 second lead, and I believe the racing just got something happened to Joshua Lawton. He just went backwards in a hurry. He's back to 17th position. Number 5 machine moved Brandon Bowie up a spot, Alex Warren up a spot, Richard Doucette. All those guys all moving up a spot as Joshua Lawton getting into some kind of trouble. But John Adams in the backstretch, a 1.8 second lead. I do believe this race is over, and we have a winner. John Adams coming through turn number 3, looking like he will be the victor tonight, guys.
Well, we are back over here, still under caution, as this race is fixing to come to an end. And, well, unless something catastrophic happens between turn 4 and the start-finish line, Brian Day is going to take the win here in this second split race. Matthew Wright going to be finishing second, Alex Scribner finishing third, Anthony Kernick fourth, Chris Collins in that 24 machine going to be finishing fifth, Scoot Johnson going to be finishing 6th. Justin Kirby 7th. Kyle McCormick into some trouble at the end of that race, going to be finishing 8th. Chris Pence also involved, and Michael Evans involved. That is going to round out your top 10. These boys fixing to come across the start-finish line. One heck of a race we've had here, Michael, Dave, and, well, I look forward to doing it next week when we go super speedway racing, because that's when we hit the tandems.
Definitely a lot of action that goes on in super speedway racing. Last time we visited a super speedway was back last season with the top split at Daytona International. Great night race. We saw a different winner. Malik Ray came out on top, so you never know who's going to win there. You know, the usual guys don't always win there. It's really a toss-up. It's a lottery. You know, you never know what's going to happen at those kind of tracks, so I look forward to that. But a great job at Brian Day tonight and his team sweeping the top 3 spots here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Alrighty, well that is going to round out this race here. 60 laps we ran here at Indianapolis, a 2.5 mile rectangle. I won't call it an oval. It's a racetrack. It's one of the more famous ones. We enjoy it. ETV Live, we've had a blast here tonight. Don't go away though, we are going to get some driver interviews when we come back.
JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. And we are back live here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I tell you what a race here tonight. Brian Day, Matthew Wright, Alex Scribner bringing it home here tonight. Let's take it back up to the booth with Austin Atkinson.
Brian Day has climbed out of his hot rod here in Victory Lane. Brian, we spoke to you not too long ago. You came out with the checkered flag. Well, how you feeling, buddy?
Hey, Indy. It's awesome, man. I can't thank the guys over at Nexus enough. Joe Slama, Zach Hudson, Anthony Koenig, Matthew Wright, Brandon Kohler. Sorry if I forget anybody. I want to thank my sponsors, SCS, Boeing, Ulista, Northrop Grumman, the Prototype Integration Facility at Reston Arsenal, Alabama. Feels good to get a win in Indy. It's awesome. My first win ever at Indy. Car was great all night. Good in traffic, good out front. Just got to thank those guys for a great piece.
No doubt about that. You definitely had a machine to beat. And, well, Matt wasn't very far behind you. I'm sure there was some pretty similar setups run there. What was it like as far as preparation up to this race? I know how the Zach Hudson Motorsport crew works, and they work pretty well as a team. Was there a lot of setup building this week, or did it just kind of all come together for you?
Well, I know last week we prepared a lot for Pocono, and it showed. The strength of our team really showed there. We didn't prepare for here as much, but I think it was a little easier to get a handle on the track here because there's not as many bumps. The characteristics are kind of the same as far as it being flat and kind of the way you have to run the track. But we spent a good amount of time. Like I said, not as much time as we spent with Pocono, but a lot of hosted sessions went up and got into a lot of practice sessions. And luckily, I found the magic that I needed before the race. Like I said, we made a bunch of changes before the race even started. And wasn't really expecting that much out of the car. I thought maybe top 5, but after about 10 or so laps, the thing was a rocket.
Well, we mentioned earlier we do go to Talladega next week, and I look forward to that one personally. Kind of sad I can't be a part of it, but hey, I'll be a part of it in my own little way. I'll be up here calling it once again up in the booth. Some wonderful tandem racing we're going to be doing, and Brian, well, don't worry about your drafting. Me, Hudson, and the boys will take care of you. We'll get you set up and get you taught on just exactly how it works. Congratulations on the win tonight. I'm going to let you finish celebrating. And any final thoughts for you? Anybody you got to thank?
I just got my team over at Nexus. They're great. They provide a lot of good cars every week, and we're going to be some contenders in the A-Class series, and hopefully some of our guys will make pro. And we're looking forward to it. And Austin, I want to give you a big roll tide, buddy.
Hey, you know that's right. Roll tide, roll. I do believe, though, Michael Conti has caught up with Matt Wright, teammate of Brian Day.
So, Matt, you finished second tonight. You led a little bit, but from what I could see, it seemed like your car really took off after about 15 or 20 laps into a run. Was that your plan tonight, to set it up for more of a long-run situation?
It's a pretty good car. Long run and got really, really loose and fighting it the entire race, but it was still a really fast car.
Now, with your teammate in front of you and a couple teammates in front of you at some points, when you have teammates all around you, how do you go about racing them for the win? Do you race them just as hard as you'd race anyone else, or do you try to give them a little bit more room?
You race him hard, but you make sure you don't run him over, take him out, cause an accident between the team.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't go down too well. Well, I mean, I think your driving spoke for you tonight. I don't have too much more to ask you. Before I let you go, just want to see if there's anyone you want to thank or give a shout-out to. Do it right now, buddy.
Yeah, it was a great race. Got to thank everyone here at Nexus, Jack Hudson and everybody. Great team.
That's Matt Wright for you guys.
I do believe also that we have caught up with Alex Scribner. Dave, have you caught up with Alex?
Indeed, I have. Alex Scribner, great race this evening. Very solid, pretty much all night long, bud. Tell us a little bit about how your evening went.
Dave, the night went pretty good. We didn't find the fast speed for qualifying that I wanted, so we started about mid-pack or so. But all the guys at Gale Force Racing did a good job getting the car tuned in where it needed to be, and it was pretty easy to work through traffic. I had some help up in the spotter tower keeping me calm, making sure it stayed smooth, and also we got to the front, and then the cleaner the air, the faster the car was. So we just slowly worked our way through and got into the top 3 there, and got a good restart with about 11 to go. And was looking forward to the end of that one, and I messed up on my part on the last restart and gave away second. But once again, a real strong run from the Monster Energy Chevy and Gale Force Racing. Real proud of the work everybody did.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys did a great job. And talking about your spotter on the stand up there, some of the viewers got the opportunity to actually get to listen in with what you guys had to do tonight, and I'm sure they enjoyed that a lot, and we appreciate you being willing to let them do that. But, I got to ask, had you not made that slight mistake there on the restart, do you think you would have had a shot at maybe getting to the leader?
Oh, we really did. Nick gave me a real good adjustment to make in that midpoint of the race, and the car just really come alive after that pit stop, and just it had the speed. It was real comfortable, and I could be smooth with it. And I felt real good about that last restart. If I could get the jump, I'd be able to get Brian, but. Just like I said, small mistake on my part, and it's something we'll learn from and go on and try to win next week.
All right, but we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing you, throughout the season, seeing how things go for you. But I'm going to give you an opportunity here, bud. Throw any shout-outs and any thanks that you may have.
Yeah, just want to thank all the guys at Gale Force Racing, Nick Ottinger, Ronnie Sisney, Justin Kirby, Matt Holden, Jeffrey Parker, just everybody that puts in all the effort in getting these setups tuned, and just a real team effort here. And it's just it's awesome to be running with a group of guys like this. It's my second week with them, and we're already gelling well, so we can only look for more wins in the future.